All right, and we are good. Okay, today, as I was saying earlier, it is really a big day. One of the most important things that we do um, is writing the equations of lines, talking about slopes. As a matter of fact, when you take calculus, the first half of the semester is, or the first half of the year is dealing with slopes. So there's a lot to be said. All right, now, this is obviously just the introduction. So slope, one of the most important things, writing the equations of lines. You'll be writing the equations of lines in every math class that you take. All right, so learn it today or relearn it, and then you will do much better in the future. All right, so here we go. Let's first start out. I think what I'm going to do is probably just go down and do the odds. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, there's lots of different ways of finding the slope. First thing I want everybody to write is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, that is the equation. All right, now what is the y2, y1, x2, x1? Remember, those are the two individual points. So we describe them as x1, y1, comma, x2, y2. That would be the best way to talk about the points. The other thing that is common is somebody describes slope as rise over run. All right, but we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to call it delta y over delta x. What does delta stand for in science? Can anybody tell me? Triangle, that would be math term. All right, say it again. Somebody said it. Change, that's exactly right. So that's the change in y over the change in x. That's just an abbreviation. So again, that is significant. All right. I always used to tell kids if I were making up math, I would have put change in x over change in y. And the reason why is because we plot x first and then y. So why not slope just be x over y? All right. But that is not the way it is. All right. It is the change in y over the change in x. All right. Now, the other things we're going to have to review for this chapter is, or for this section is, y equals mx plus b. And for y equals mx plus b, who remembers what that form is? What? Not point slope, but slope intercept. That is correct. That is called the slope intercept. And why is it called the slope intercept? Because m is the what? Slope. And b is the what? Yeah, b is the y-intercept. B is the y-intercept. And remember, y-intercept is just 0, comma b. All right, now the next was what Morty had alluded to. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That is what again called, Morty? Remember? Yes. That is called point slope. Why do you think they call it point slope? Tell me. That's exactly right. They call it point slope because you're given a point and you're given a slope. All right, now something I do want to show you guys I think is really important. All right, I want everybody to do me a favor. If you wrote this formula down, what I want you to do is copy it, and then we're going to paste it down here so I can show you something. So we're going to paste this formula right here. I just want to show you something that's important. Because sometimes kids say, all these formulas, I can't remember them. All right, so watch now. All right, all I'm going to do is I am going to multiply both sides by x2 minus x1. Multiply both sides by x2 minus x1. And what happens down here with the x2, x1, x2, x1? They do what? They cancel, right? So now y2 minus y1 equals m times x2 minus x1. What is that called? That's the point slope form. Exactly right. That's the point slope form. Now, what did they do, though? I want to make sure. They removed this 2 because these are no longer points, right? They're part of the equation. They're part of the equation. This is said to be the actual point they're discussing, and the m is the actual slope. All right. So now, again, guys, for those of you guys, it's so much easier for me to understand than to memorize. So I'm showing you, or what my point here was, that this right here is the point slope form of the equation of the line. And that was simply, if you know the slope formula, then you know that equation. So bear with me on this. All right, now some of you are like, well, I don't care about that. That's perfectly fine. All right, you just have to remember the formula. All right, that's all. You just have to remember the formula. Okay, so now that was the second equation. And then, of course, the other equation was standard form. AX plus BY equals C. And again, that is standard form. Everybody with me on this? All right, and what's standard form? I have no idea. All right, we don't really use it in any other, like, standard form is just so everybody can get the same answer, I believe. All right, but I don't know of a single standardized test that says put the equation in standard form. All right, generally all the standardized tests do is they say put it in point slope form, or they say put your answer in slope intercept form. Very rarely do they say put it in standard form. Right, now there were some things about standard form, right, that you had to remember. You had to say A was positive, right? Then you had to say that A, B, and C are integers. And then you had to say A, B, and C are relatively prime. And relatively prime, let me give you an example of something that's not relatively prime. 2x plus 4y equals 8. Is that relatively prime? No. Right, because we could divide everything through by what? 2. Now, if I divide everything through by 2, it'd be x plus 2y equals what? 4. Are those all relatively prime? Yes, because the only factor they share in common is 1. Do we agree with that? All right. So again, those are the rules for standard form. Those are the rules for standard form. A must be positive, A, B, and C are integers, and A, B, and C are relatively prime. All right. So now that is a fantastic review. So if you understand that, we should be able to go through and zip through this worksheet. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this up a little bit. And I'm going to, all right, I love notability. All right, everybody good? All right, so let's go down here. All right, now we're finding slopes. All right, now remember, finding slopes. We have our 2 points. We're going to do rise over run. So how much did we go up? And we went over what? Now when you go up, it's what? Positive. When you go to the right, it's what? Now some of you guys are going, well, I went this way. What direction am I going? So that's what? Then I have to go which direction? Left, which is also what? So does it matter? No. All right, so the slope is just what? 5/3. And if you said -5 over -3, it's still 5/3. But generally, if you recall, I said always start with the leftmost point. All right, I like starting from the left. Remember, numbers are written from small to large, so you go from the small to the large. All right, that will avoid all the negatives. All right, let's go down. All right, who remembers what this was? Horizontal line. What? Yes, slope is equal to 0. Now, why is that? How many did I go up? 0. And how many did I go over? You could say 1, right? But it doesn't matter because you could say 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It doesn't matter because 0 over anything is still what? 0. All right. Slope of all horizontal lines are 0. Next. All right, here we go. Somebody help me. What's the slope of this line? 5 over 2. If you don't know, speak up. Very easy, guys. Very easy. All right, somebody help me here. Somebody says negative 2 over 3. Now, again, I don't want to go too fast, right? But I think it's easy. Yes. No, right? Because negative 2/3 is equal to negative 2 over 3 equals 2 over negative 3. Now, part of the reason I forgot this was I also want to make this observation, guys. Look, if I use here to here, that's going to be 2/3, right? If I had chosen here to here, that's still going to be what? And then if I was crazy and I said, well, what if I go from here to here? It's still what? It's still 2/3. And what if I'm wild and crazy and I came over here and said, well, I just wanted to pick this? What is that still? What? 2/3. It doesn't matter what 2 points you pick. It will always be 2/3. All right, that's why we say the slope is constant. All right, the slope is constant. It does not change. No matter what 2 points you select, your slope will always remain the same. Okay, so now, what was the formula, guys? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, you know whether or not you know that formula. If you don't know the formula, write it down 10 times and you'll know it, or you'll remember it. Do I care if you write it down? No. Do I care how much work you show? No. Just don't make any what? Careless mistakes. There's always mistakes made with negatives. All right. Does it matter if I do y2 minus y1 or y1 minus y2? Makes no difference. All right. It makes no difference. All right. So here we go. In my opinion, you should write down 5 plus 6 over negative 2 minus 3. Oh, some of you, I like the way you correct me. Negative 6 minus 5 over 3 plus 2. Is there a difference? Is there a difference? No, there isn't. That's what I'm trying to show you. It makes no difference. You just have to be consistent. If I go this direction and I go this direction, or I can go this direction and do the subtraction. It makes no difference. You get the same answers. Everybody good? So, of course, the slope is what? Negative 11/5. Everybody happy? All right. Now, of course, I just want you to write M. All right, so here we go. M equals, let's do the mental math. 4 plus 6. 10 over negative 17. So negative 10/17. I told you, easy, right? Here we go. Slope equals what? 0. Come on now. Now remember, here's what I'm trying to tell you. If there's an issue, you let me know right away. Don't let me wait till question 50 before you start asking questions. If you don't know why the slope is 0, now is the time. Speak up. Slope is 0. Anybody have any issues? All right, let's go. All right, now let's see if we can do fractions. What's 2/3 minus 1/3? Now, does everybody understand why I'm doing 2/3 minus 1/3 instead of 1/3 minus 2/3, right?
Yeah.
So I avoid a what? Avoid a negative, right? So 2/3 minus 1/3 is what? And if I do 1/3 and I divide it by -3, let's see who knows how to do that. 1/3 divided by -3. Don't embarrass me, Brady. I'm asking you what the answer is. Trust me, I know how to do it. I want to know what the answer is. 1 what? The answer. Say that again. I can't hear you. 1 negative 9. What are you talking about?
1 over negative 9. 1 over negative 9.
Oh, okay. You said 1 negative 9. I don't know what that means. 1 negative 9. Wow.
Negative 1/9.
Thank you. Negative 1/9. All right. Does anybody have any questions with that? Now remember, 1/3 divided by -3 is the same as 1/3 times negative 1/3. All right. For some of you guys who might be forgotten all of your fraction rules. All right. So here we go. Now look, guys, we're going to dazzle people next year. When somebody asks you what 2/3 minus 1/5, you are not going to write it on paper. You're not allowed to write this on paper. Right now, do in your head 2/3 minus 1/5. You don't have to just try it in your head. 2/3 minus 1/5. And if you don't know how to do it in your head, now's the time to speak up. Read, what did we get? Somebody said 7 over 15. I'm not sure that's correct. Is that correct? All right, now please listen to me. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. If you don't know, let me help you. Let me show you. You ready? All right, here we go. So common denominator is 15, right? So in your head, all you're doing is you're saying, what am I multiplying this fraction by? Shh. No one's asking you anything. What am I multiplying 2/3 by? To get a common denominator of 15. Right, so what's 5 times 2? You with me? And over here, I'm multiplying by what? 3. So now it's just 10 minus 3. See what I'm saying? Easy, easy. People think you're weird if you can do 2/3 minus 1/5. And they're weird because they don't know how. All right, here we go. What? Wow, thank you. Over 0. So what was the rule when you divide by 0? It is undefined. That is correct. But more importantly, I want to review why is it undefined? All right, why is it undefined? Yes, it is actually a vertical line. All right, it's vertical. Remember what I told you, you can't ski down that mountain. I wish some of you would try. All right.
I could.
Yes, Morty.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of the problem. You skied down a mountain that's vertical. All right. All right. But with that being said, here we go. Let's show mathematically why it is no solution. All right. So here, 0. What times 0 is 7/15? Oh my gosh. You guys are killing me. I said, what times 0 is 7/15?
Nothing.
Nothing. That is why it is no solution. That is why it is no solution. However, if I did, for example, 0 over 7/15, you write it like this. What times 7/15 is 0? That one is 0. So 0 in the numerator is good. All right. That just means it's 0. 0 in the denominator is bad because you can't divide by 0. That's why it is considered undefined. All right. Very important information. All right. So I'm going kind of quick. How are my homeschoolers doing? Everybody's good? All right. Here we go. Next, write the equation of each line, then graph the line. So now we're going to write this in. I should have made better directions here. We're going to write it in what? slope-intercept, and we're picking slope-intercept because they give us the what?
One.
Slope and the y-intercept. So from here, tell me what the equation is. Someone tell me what the equation is. Tell me. What's the equation of the line? Plus what? Thank you. Y equals negative 2x minus 3. Yes, it's that easy. All right, it's that easy. Now we're going to review graphing. All right, step 1. Do you recall that we plot the y-intercept first? So we go down to negative 3, plot the points. Then from there, we go down to and right 1. Down to right 1. Now I'd like to just do 3 points because it helps me guide on notability. Now's the time again. Speak up if you don't know something. Simon, how am I doing? You okay with all this? All right, don't be afraid to ask. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? All right, here we go. Let's knock out 21. So the equation for 21. Watson, what's the equation? How do I graph that? What do I do? Up 3. You guys are amazing. Thank you. All right, Lorenzo, you're up on 23. Tell me what's up, man.
So it'd be y equals 0 plus 3.
0x plus 3, right?
Or 0x, yeah.
Yeah, now on this, obviously, though, we wouldn't put 0x. We could just write this as what? Y equals 3.
Y plus 3. Oh, yeah.
What kind of line is y equals 3? Do you remember, Lorenzo?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a horizontal line.
Thank you. That's excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate your work. Y equals 3. All right. Y equals 3. Does anybody have any questions? Always y equals are horizontal. X equals are always vertical. Yes, sir. No. I don't care. I don't care. Less is better for me. All right, 25. Go ahead, Jude. Write the equation for me real quick.
Y equals negative 5/3 x minus 6.
And how do I graph this?
You go down 6.
Beautiful. And then?
Over 2 up 1 or.
Wait a minute.
Over.
What's the slope? I forgot.
Negative 5/3.
So what do I do?
Down 5 over 3.
Yeah, now let's say this, Jude. Let's just say, for example, guys, I don't want to go down 5, right? Because I'm running out of room. Do you remember what we could do instead of going down 5, Jude? What could I do? Do you remember? We just go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
So instead of
up,
down, say it.
Up.
Up 5, and then which direction would we go?
Right.
Right or left?
Right.
Now,
right.
Actually, Jude, we would go to the left.
Oh, left.
Right,
yeah.
because we're doing exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Right, so if I go down 5 and over 3, I will create the same line, but we will just be using different points. Everybody with me on that? All right. So if you ever find yourself running out of room, you just go the opposite direction in both directions. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, here we go. Now, let's talk about this real quick, guys. X-intercept, highlight X-intercept. Who remembers how to find the X-intercept? What do I do? Yay, wow, I'm proud of you, Morty. Good job. The Y value is 0. All right, and how do I find the Y-intercept? Tell me, Drew. The opposite, which means what? X is 0. All right, that's what I need for everybody to be able to tell me. Come on, guys, make sure you highlight that and make yourself a note if you forgot that. Now, let me show you real quick how you remember that. Everybody put your eyes up, eyes up, eyes up. I'm gonna draw a line here. All right, and then I'm gonna draw another line right here. Now, I want everybody to look at this and say, this is the x-intercept. Does everybody agree? And this is the x-intercept. Well, what's true about the y value? What about the y value? It equals 0. So when you forget, all you have to do is draw a line and say, what's true about the x-intercept? No matter how many lines I draw, the x-intercept will always have a y value of 0. And what about all the y-intercepts? All of the x's are 0. That's how you remember that, if you forget. All right, so be careful with that, please. All right, so here we go. Let's get rid of that, and now let's get back to business. All right, over here is Charlie. So what's the x-intercept? Yes, it's just all mental math, guys. And Drew, what's the y-intercept? Now, if you're looking at me like, oh, what? How did you do that? You speak up now. Anybody have any issues with how to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept?
Yeah, can you show me how to find it?
Yeah, so you just plug 0 in for y. If I plug 0 in for y, that becomes 0. So then 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. See that now? Then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come over here and say if I'm finding the y-intercept, the x is 0. And then 6 divided by 3 is that too. Is that good now? All right, now we just plot those points. So let's find 3, 0 right here. And then let's find 0, 2, which is right here. And then let's just go ahead and knock that out. All right, piece of cake. Next. All right. Sam, I need the x-intercept. What's the x-intercept? 1. And who can help me? Mia, what's the y-intercept? What's 0 first? X, right? So this becomes 0. So now you're just solving that equation, right? Let her alone. Yes, ma'am. -7. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. All right, now let's plot those points. 1, 0, and 0, -7. And there we have it. All right, now remember, your job is to speak up if you're not sure. All right, obviously graphing x equals 6. What kind of line is x equals 6? Vertical, so everybody just go to x equals 6 and draw your vertical line. Everybody okay with that? All right, now, there is only a what here? There's only an x-intercept, right? It doesn't cross the y-axis, so there is no y-intercept. All right, so here we go. Zayden, tell me what the x-intercept is here.
The x-intercept is 1.
1, good. And Harris, what's the y-intercept?
-4.
You're awesome. All right, everybody's good. So now let's graph 1, 0, 0, -4, and let's draw it. Simple, simple. All right, now we're just graphing. All right, so now when we're graphing, remember we have to put it into y equals mx plus b. All right, so Miss AC, what do I have to do first on 35? Right, so y equals, remember? Beautiful. All right, y equals negative 2x plus 6, and then graph that for me. Go. Right, and then, yep, simple as that. All right, Bo, you're up. Now, what do I have to do first on this? Right. So what do I got? You're awesome, buddy. Actually, very good. 4y equals 5x plus 8. So now what? You're right. So what do I have? Brilliant. All right. Yes. Right. Well, what he did, remember, last year I taught you, I always like the y to be positive. So I just moved the y over here and then moved the 8 over here. You with me? Right? Then you don't have to deal with the negative. Okay. Bo, graph it for me. And then what? What? Yes. Why left? I thought you said it was 5/4. So it's what?
Up 5 and right 4.
Yeah, definitely wasn't my bad. Thank you. Never. All right, here we go. All right, so 39. Mr. Barrow, tell me, what am I doing? Beautiful. So what is that? Simple, guys. Come on. Good job. Good job. All right, 41. All right, Karina, what do I have to do here, kiddo? There you go. I like that better. Thank you. 4y equals 3x plus 12. Good. Now what?
3 over y equals 3 over 4 x plus 3.
Beautiful. Tell me what to do now.
Drop it
Uh-huh.
up 3 to 0.
And then?
Up 3 to right 4.
You guys are amazing. Good job. All right, now remember, your job is if it's not clear, speak up. All right, this is a good review. All right. All right. Here we go. Oh, now we're going to get into some SAT problems. What? Oh, yeah. Put that in there. Line L. I don't know what happened to mine. Well, the typo, I copied these. I didn't write these. I copied these. All right, so now, all right, let's go, guys. 43. Help me out with 43. Which one of those is the correct answer? Sam thinks he knows. Which one?
X plus 1 equals
Sam thinks it's C.
Yeah, but you're going to right
I didn't know it was.
Is everybody okay with X? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so first of all, there's no reason to be confused at all. All right, first and foremost, if you want, right, you can, well, if you look at this line, you're supposed to be able to look at that line and say, obviously, the slope is -1 and the y-intercept is -4. Obviously. Is everybody okay with that? All right. Come on now. Some of you guys think these are hard. They're not hard. Now your job is to look at that and say which one has a slope of -1 and a y-intercept of -4. Move this x over. Y equals -x minus 4. So they agree. So what? So that's the answer. Does everybody agree with that? That wasn't bad. It's kind of annoying because you have to kind of look at A, B, C, and D, right? All right, let's try 45. William, what do you think? Somebody says H. William says 45 is H. Anybody agree with that? Yeah, good. All right, that is an ACT problem. See how easy those standardized tests are? Very easy. Everybody good on that? All right, let's skip down to 47. Which one has a greater slope? The slope of a vertical line or slope of a horizontal line? It's kind of a tricky question. Well, definitely not. Two quantities are equal. Because if we look at a vertical line as this, right? And we look at a horizontal line, it looks like this. Do you agree? What do you think, Reed?
A.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. A. Right now look. If you're thinking logically about this, let's look this way, guys. Here's my slope. Does everybody agree my slope is getting bigger? Do they agree? Getting bigger, 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 bigger. This is the absolute what? Greatest it can get, even though it's undefined, right? That's slope. If you had to choose, right, you want to ski on something that has a slope of 0, or you had to choose this, right? That's the way I would like you to think about it. All right. Yes. All right, here we go. Let's check out 49. Yeah, don't get yourself too worked up over this one now.
I don't know.
Well, I believe you, though. All right. Last year was a blur. I understand. All right. Help me out. 49 is yes. What? Chuck, what is wrong with you? Your grade. Very good. Here we go. 51. Write the equation of line in point slope form. Ooh, let's see who was paying attention. Point slope form. AC. Okay, you can write that equation. I think that's a good start. All right, now plug in. Tell me what the answer is, AC. Now keep in mind x -1 is what? Very good. And what's the 5? Brilliant. And what's, that already tells you. So now, tell me the answer. Look how simple, guys. That's just a review. All right? There's nothing else. Write the equation in point slope form. That is your answer. That's your answer. You can distribute if you want to be wrong. All right? Or you just leave it like that. And you can be correct. All right, here we go. 53. Write the equation of line in standard form. All right, we're writing in standard form. But this is a what? Slope. And this is a what? So we should put it in what first? Point slope first. So we will let Drew do that. Go.
So it would be y equals
Good job.
-6
Good.
parentheses x plus
Beautiful. Now notice he didn't say y minus 0. That would be funny. All right. So now we got to write it in standard form. So now I should do what to the negative 6? No. Distribute. All right, now standard form. Remember, if you forgot, ax plus by equals c. So now what do I do? Yeah, move the 6 over, right? And so now we have 6x plus y equals negative 30. That is in standard form. Notice a is positive. A, B, and C are integers, and they're all relatively prime. Yes, ma'am. Because in the formula, it is x minus x1. So it's x minus negative 5. Agreed? All righty, here we go. Continue on. 55. Uh-oh. We got a major problem here because we don't have the slope. So we have to figure out the slope. Now, again, we're practicing our mental math. All right? So who said that already? Sam, are you right? I hate to agree with Morty, but he is correct. All right. Yeah, nothing like going in for the kill, right? All right. Now, let's write the equation. Mr. Varner, tell me. Y minus what? Say it. Yes. Equals.
3
Yes.
x minus 2.
Beautiful. All right. Now, remember, it's all the same line. Does everybody agree? It's all the same line. So does it matter what point you pick? No. Sometimes it doesn't look like the same line. Like if I chose, or if he had chosen the other point, it would have been y minus 13 equals 3 times x minus 5. That doesn't look the same, but guess what? It is the same. Now, to show you it's the same, we want to write it in slope-intercept form. So now, please, we're going to work on mental math. Put your eyes up. Eyes up. I want everybody to look up and say, that's y equals 3x, negative 9, plus 7 is negative 2. Does everybody see that? You should be able to go from here to here relatively quickly. Now, let's see if that's the same. Y equals 3x. That would be negative 15 plus 13, negative 2. Is it the same line? We already knew that, but we're just confirming it. Does everybody see? Does it matter what point you choose?
No.
It makes no difference what point you choose. All right. Now, 57. Write the equation. Uh-oh. Who remembered what parallel lines? What was true about parallel lines? They had what? About same slope. Thank you very much. So the slope of the parallel line. So here we go. Slope of the parallel line. That's the symbol for slope of the parallel line. What would that be, please? 3. All righty. So the slope of the line of the parallel line is 3. So someone, please tell me the equation. Who hasn't said anything today? Well, that's surprising. Davis, you always have something to contribute. Because oh, Simon, thank you. Go, Simon. You are amazing. Simple as that. All right. You were not going to say that, Davis. All right, here we go. 59. What is the slope of the parallel line, Davis? Good. So what's the answer? Write the equation for me first. Now look, I want everybody to highlight this point right here. What is that point called? No, that's embarrassing. What is it? Wow, Morty, what's gotten into you, man? Y-intercept. Now, don't forget you have your muzzles on, so it's kind of hard for me to hear you with the muzzle on. All right, so you got to speak up. Unfortunately, Morty is just always loud, so I can hear him regardless. All right, so now we should write it in slope-intercept form first. Morty, write it in slope-intercept form. Is not an answer. How's it feel? Go. What are you talking? Oh, Sam, help him out. Olivia. Yes. All right, but because that's the y-intercept, we could have just said y equals 3/5 x minus 1. Right? So now we have to write it in what form, though? Standard form. So if we're going to write it in standard form, no fractions are allowed. Olivia, go. Shh. Tell me what to do. Yes, brilliant. So now I have 3/5 x minus y equals 1. Now what? It's not the answer because there is a fraction. How do I eliminate the fraction? Read. Oh, if I multiply by the reciprocal, that will create a fraction over here. Mr. Varner, tell him. You are brilliant. Multiply everything by 5. And when we do that, it becomes 3x minus 5y equals 5. How's that? Making sense?
Yes.
All right. That is standard form. Stop telling me what you were going to say. All right? Yeah. I was going to make 100 on my quiz, too. If I'd have written the right answers, it would have been helpful. All right. 61. No. Listen, I'm going to skip 61. I'm going to go down to 63 because I only got a minute. All right, 63. Now we're talking about perpendicular. So highlight perpendicular. Who remembers stuff about perpendicular lines? AC does. Wow, I am so good. I'm so proud of myself. M of the perpendicular. Slope of the perpendicular is AC what? -4/3. You are brilliant. Now I need point slope form. So just tell me the answer real quick, AC. Let's just finish this out. Is not the answer. Why? Yay, we are brilliant. All right, we are brilliant. We are going to say, let's just, because we're on such a good roll, let's just finish this up for homework. Look, there
It's a weekend, Mr. Stroud.
89 problems.
You do it for homework.
All right. All right, here we go. No homework, guys. We'll finish up on Monday.
Yeah.
I've been bullied into submission here. All right. The end, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye, thank you.
You for some reason.
Thank you.
End meeting for all. Bye-bye, kiddos. Have a great weekend.